Hello, friends. We're going to look into what Trump's economy, his ideas, are going to do for our pocketbook. Or in reality, for the super richest pocketbook. Let's get into it.
Driving them to the polls. President-elect Donald Trump has already laid out some of his economic proposals, and that includes extending the 2017 tax cuts. He's also proposed lowering the corporate tax rate to as low as 15% and eliminating taxes on tips and overtime pay. Trump's suggested that those costs could be offset with tariffs on foreign imports. CBS News contributor J.D. Durkin joins us now. J.D., I want this to be really specific and valuable to our viewers. So what could the Trump presidency actually mean for inflation, for the price of goods, particularly when we're talking about groceries, because we know that's a big issue?
And we certainly is, and we certainly know that the priority for the soon-to-be president is for tariffs, which economists do very honestly say these are taxes on imported foreign products that come to this country. So even though now President Trump is going to make a lot of promises and say that tariffs will help bring down the cost of goods and help raise wages, economists, especially in terms of food imports, they've still very much been arguing the opposite, Lana. They said there could be more short-term pain. That was actually something that even Elon Musk said before the election could be the case. I think the hope is that despite that short-term pain in terms of, pressure at the grocery store and pressure on oil and these other things that Americans spend money on, that in the long term, you could actually have a bit of that relief. But that's why we had those 23 Nobel laureates come out before the election and said when we compare the economic plans between Harris and Trump, it's Harris's plan that would be better for federal deficits and better for inflation, especially for that short-term pressure.
So don't expect that your grocery prices are going to go down anytime soon, especially if you're buying avocados from any place other than California.
Listen, we've had this conversation for years. When is pricing going to drop back to the 2019 levels? It's unfortunately likely a thing of the past.
All right. Well, let's ask this question. What if you're looking to buy a home? Because we know that that's also been a concern for people. What's going to happen to mortgage rates?
It is going to take a while. I mean, if we go back to the last 20, 25 years, we had a 7% 30-year fixed rate mortgage all the way back in 2001. It wasn't until 2020 when we had that level effectively fall down to 3%. I looked at the number today. It's at 7.3%. So even as we have the central bank in good faith lowering short-term interest rates because overall inflation's gotten down to 2%, this is the most stubborn of those economic indicators to fall. So, unfortunately for individuals, you're probably looking at a very long time horizon before you have a lot of relief. But this is an opportunity, as you and I talked about earlier this week, to perhaps refinance if you're committed to your situation, committed to the home that you're going to be in for quite.
Yes, friends, avocados from California. No, avocados from Mexico. No, do not buy those. Avocados from California for your guac and all the other good things that avocados do. Anyway, let's get back to this. Yeah, all economists said that Harris's economic plans would have been far better for the economy and for you and I. These tariffs, I think tariffs were good. I really did. And that's only if everybody's playing by the same rules. But everybody's not playing by the same rules. China's playing they got their own game going on. So when that happens, the only people that get hurt by tariffs is us, as you have seen. And you're going to find out, all those people that voted for Trump and voted for Republicans, when these prices aren't going down like you magically thought they would, just because Trump became the president, and when the immigrants start getting deported, I'm not even going to go to that stuff right now. I'm going to stick to the economy. But yeah, people are going to find out that just because a Republican gets in and the economy doesn't magically go their way, In reality, what happens is economies almost always do better on the Democrats. So that's always been some kind of weird fantasy that people just fall for. Especially from a guy who does nothing but get bankruptcies. I think this guy's going to lead you economic-wise or any other way, I'm not sure. But those tariffs are going to kick our ass again. And those tax cuts, yeah. Initially, it looked like they might have helped everybody a little bit, just a little bit. They helped the rich a whole lot. And that's what Republicans normally do. Their economic plans normally only help people who don't need help. I mean, people who really, really, really do not need help. And that's what happens every time when a Republican gets in office and cuts taxes for the super rich. It's supposed to trickle down, but it never really does. And you keep falling for it for some reason. And that's back to us being stupid again. I mean, not me personally, but overall, too many people in the country being stupid. And housing. Harris had a housing plan. He's going to help people with housing. This housing thing is way out of control. I don't think any party, either one, can help with housing. It's going to take people really working together. The greed is too much with the housing cost. I mean, the average house in any decent place to live is really like $700,000, you know? Yeah, that's crazy, you know? And then forget about California and New York, you know? You're talking $1 million and $750 for a house in the ghetto. I mean, it's crazy. This housing thing, nobody can buy a house. I mean, no average person can reasonably buy a house unless you give them, 100 years to finance it. Yeah, that's real. So, we're going to see how it works out, you know, economy-wise. I'm willing to bet you it's not going to get any better. It's probably going to get worse. But anyway, thanks for watching.